What's up, friends? If you're anything like me, you've been stocking up on a lot of things, tissues, hand sanitizer, sanitizing wipes, things that are basically going to help us stay clean. The trick is that shopping for some of this stuff is a little bit tricky, and I want to show you a couple of labels before we dive in today of just how tricky this is. So if you take a look at this first one, this label is for a 200 count box of tissues, and it's selling for $1.32. Okay, 200 tissues for $1.32. Then I look over here, there's another price label in orange. It says the same price, $1.32 for each box. Well, it's one box, so that makes sense to me. I look at the next one, and it's a 3-pack of these same tissues, 200 tissues in the box, and it's $3.64. And it tells me it's $3.64 for each, but it's not for each box, it's for the whole 3 count. So I want to see, is it cheaper for me to buy the 3-pack? I'm going to need them, or for me to just get the 1-pack. So I can pull up my calculator to do this. And if I am pulling up my calculator, one way of doing this is just to divide this 364 by 3 boxes. And it looks like it's about $1.21 per box. Okay, not too bad. Now here's another one that's 132, but even though this is the same price, there's only 130 tissues in it. And this first box has 200 tissues in it. So I already know if this is the same price but has more tissues, it's a better deal. I can pretty much eliminate this one. Then I move on. This one is 80 but has the lotion. I do like that lotion because my nose gets all red and rough. But is it worth the extra cost? So I need to think, okay, so if it's 132 for 80 tissues, that's about a penny and a half per tissue. If it's 132 for 200 tissues, that's less than a penny per tissue. I don't know if the lotion is worth it. I just put lotion on my nose afterwards. I keep looking at all these prices and I realize things are really messy. And the only way that I can be sure where I'm getting a really good deal is to make sure that I'm calculating the unit price of each one so that I'm getting the best price for what I'm getting. Unit price with unit conversions can make it a little bit trickier because we know how to calculate unit price. You guys have already seen this video with Mr. Brown, but then sometimes they'll actually change what the unit is. Like on what we saw, sometimes you're dealing with the box, sometimes you're dealing with the number of tissues, sometimes you're dealing with for this number of tissues. And a lot of the stores will use this to try to trick people into spending more money than they would have otherwise. And so what I want to show you today is how to actually convert the units that you're dealing with so you can get the right unit price. Let's look here at a 3-foot piece of cotton cloth, which costs $3.96. And I'm asking for the price per inch. Now, we already know how to calculate the price per foot because you know that you just need to divide that 3 feet by 396, but that's not what we're being asked. We're actually being asked for the price per inch. So before I can do that, I need to actually figure out how many inches is in this 3 feet. Well, the first thing that I know is that there's 12 inches in a foot. And so if I take 12 inches multiplied by 3 feet, I land at 36 inches. 36 inches is then going to be $3.96. And I need to find the price per inch. So if I take $3.96 and divide it by 36 inches, every single inch should be 11 cents. Let's give that a swirl and see if it works. Hot diggity dog. You'll notice here this time elapse thing. Some of you all, I don't know if you've noticed, will log in and just sit. And then it'll say your pause. And then all of us teachers can see that you're sitting and doing nothing. Just so we're clear about that, we all know. A 16-cup container of disinfectant costs $13.26. What is the price per quart? I need to know how many cups are in a quart in order to know how to solve this. Now, you might already know how many cups are in a quart. Mr. Shaw knows that 4 cups are in a quart, and so he's going to roll with that. But if not, you can always look these things up. A lot of these things are things that even adults are constantly looking up because we have to cook in the kitchen, and I can't remember how many ounces are in this or that or the other. But I do know, because I tend to do a lot of like cooking and stuff in the kitchen, then 2 cups in a pint, 2 pints in a quart, so then that must be 2 times 2 is 4. Look it up if you need to look it up. It's no big deal. All right, so if I've got 16 cups, and I'm looking for the price per quart, I need to divide 16 into those 4, and that gives me 4. So this is a 4-quart container then, and it's 13.28. So to find the price per quart, I take 13.28 divided by 4 quarts, and I land at 3.32 per quart. Super! A 6-foot piece of rope. We've already done this conversion. We need to multiply our feet by inches, but it's important to know the order because sometimes you'll be asked it in the opposite order, and you need to know, am I actually going to be multiplying or dividing? In this case, 6 feet are going to be made up of 12 inches each, and so there's 72 inches total. The price per inch then, price comes first, per divide inches, 72, and I land at 18 cents per inch. All right, I want to take a moment and just kind of review these steps. My first step that I do whenever I'm trying to do these unit prices and unit conversions is to do the conversion. I never want to try to calculate the price before I've made my conversion to make sure that what I'm being asked for is the same as what's here. And I would add to this that you want to kind of look up and verify that your conversion is happening correctly. For example, this next problem is dealing with tons. Some of us may know that how many pounds are in a ton, but if you don't know, just look it up. Some of you are looking up things that are actually cheating, but this one is legit. So there's 2,000 pounds in a ton. So if there's 2,000 pounds in a ton, I've got 4 tons, and the second step, well, it's really part of the conversion step is to actually do the conversion. And that would be 2,000 times 4. So I have 8,000 pounds. Once I've done that, I can calculate my unit rate because I actually have my unit conversion in place. And the unit rate is always going to be price per unit. And that word per is really just going to mean division. So I'll take my price and divide it by the amount of unit that I've got, which is 8,000 pounds. And I land at 20 cents per pound. Let's do 2 more and then I'll leave you to it. Which is the better buy? 3-pound bag of plums for $5.76, 78-ounce bag of plums for $11.70. I need to convert one of these two so these two are the same and that I can compare them fairly. To do that, I need to know how many ounces are in a pound. So if I don't already know it, I can look it up. Well, many ounces a pound. 16 ounces in a pound. So now I've got a couple options. I can convert my pounds to ounces by multiplying by 16, or I can convert my ounces to pounds by dividing by 16. Most of you prefer multiplying to dividing, and so we're going to roll with that. If I have gone all the way up to 20 in my division fact or multiplication facts, I know that 16 times 3 is 48. So this 3-pound bag is 48 ounces. All right. So if I'm 48 ounces at $5.76, my next step is to divide the price per unit. 48 ounces. Oh, wait, but the price comes first because it's price per unit. So $5.76 divided by 48 ounces, that's 12 cents an ounce. And then my next one is $11.70 as the price divided by 78 ounces. That's 15 cents an ounce. So even though this is a bigger bag, it's actually more expensive per ounce. 12 cents per ounce is a better price. So I think it's this first one. All right, here we go again. Which of these is the better buy? If you don't know how many quarts are in a gallon, you can look it up. The word quart means 4, and that actually helps us with this because there's 4 quarts in a gallon. So once again, I'm faced with a choice. I could divide this by 4 to turn it into gallons, or I could multiply this by 4 to turn it into quarts. In this case, our division factor is pretty easy, so it's really about as easy either way. 8 divided by 4 is easy, 3 times 4 is easy. You can pick which way you want to do it, but just for the sake of consistency, we'll go with the multiplication route. So 3 times 4 gives me 12 quarts of container of window cleaner for $39.24. So let's do our unit conversions. Price for the first one, $32.80 divided by 8 quarts is $4.10 per quart. And then $39.24 divided by 12 quarts is $3.27 per quart. You've now got your two prices. You can make your comparisons. We're at 10 minutes, so I think you should be on track to get an 80. Good luck.